So I don't know what my channel is. My channel doesn't have to be anything other than what I want it to be. And I feel like when it comes to what I post, all the stuff I post is very spiritual oriented, but at the same time, to me, I hate when people try to like pull apart and separate like certain things from politics, because the fact of the matter is, you guys, like, everything is political. Every way of life and the like access we have to things, the bathrooms we can use, whether or not we can walk down the street, what we can wear, like everything's political in this world because that's how we've created it to be, right? So you can't really separate and say you're not into politics or you don't like to talk politics, because every way of life is literally political. Unfortunately, okay? But I get so worked up, and this is something I've taken a step back from. And I've never made a video like this on it, because I'm just starting to make videos. But the fact of the matter is, it's just like we like to think things aren't. It's frustrating because I'm someone, it's just like I know enough at this point, but I'm to like know what's coming and what's happening and what's unfolding. But I'm also not someone who like has this memory where I just have everything locked in, especially given everything that I have learned since October 7th, 2023. Like the amount of information my brain took in. And mind you guys, like I fact checked my things, right? Like I've stopped at this point unless something sounds a little too outrageous. But at this point, like there were so many things I was fact checking because I was like, that can't be true. It was true. That can't be true. It was true. Like again and again and again and again. And it's like, I can't even begin to articulate all of the things and all the connections my brain has formed at this point and has, like, there's that phrase, right? People need to wake up. I used to think that was like a woke phrase in a sense, whatever. I don't like that term either, but like a phrase around politics, right? But I don't see it that way anymore. Like when I hear that phrase now, like people need to wake up, I'm talking about waking up spiritually, waking up from this matrix, waking up to life, waking up spiritually. And you can't separate politics from spirituality, because the fact of the matter is they are intertwined. Like politics is people's lives. Politics is our day to day. No matter whether or not you think you're affected by it or not, you are, okay? In some way, shape, or form, you are always affected by politics. And it's so easy, and spiritually, when you realize and understand that we are all one and all connected, it's like literally maddening that people don't understand that what we allow to happen elsewhere, because I live in America, so what we allow to happen elsewhere will come back and will affect us. And even if it didn't, you should still care, because we are all one and we are all connected, especially if you're someone who says you're religious or spiritual. If you're like, it doesn't affect me, it's over there, out of my hands. Like the fact of the matter is we all have some form of power and control. Like, especially given that the economy, like everything is centered around money. You guys know that saying, right? This is the other thing. I feel like so many things get misconstrued purposefully and intentionally so that we're confused, so that we don't put the pieces together. Because another thing I learned during this, like just so much information incoming, that phrase, you guys, that phrase, money is the root of all evil. That's not the phrase. That is not the phrase. The actual verbiage is for the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. The love of money, okay? Not money itself. And everything that's happening right now, all of the disgusting, evil, treacherous, foul, evil things that are happening in this world to people all around the world is all about money. It's literally about money, power, resources, right? Because what is power? Power is money in this world that we've created. If you have money, you have power. The more money you have, the more power you have. In the matrix, right? Not in reality, because literally money is nothing. It's literally a fucking piece of paper. So what I'm trying to say, you guys, is we have so much power And then we but it's so easy to kind of like shuffle that off like it's outside of us, like we have no power, especially when it's something that makes us uncomfortable or something we don't feel like we know enough on. You don't have to know everything, you guys. You don't have to know all the ins and outs and be able to like talk to someone and tell them X, Y, and Z about some situation. You don't have to know about this situation, this situation. And people like to be like, oh, well, there's genocides happening everywhere. Like, okay, you guys, I understand that there are multiple happening, but the fact of the matter is never before in our history have we had a live streamed 24/7 coverage for over 2 years now. 2 years? 23? Oh, my brain, like time doesn't even exist. Since October 2023, okay? We've had live streamed footage coming in constantly. We are seeing exactly what's happening. We are getting directly from the horse's mouth what's going on. If you're watching the news, I don't care what media, if you're watching any mainstream media, they are lying to you, okay? Or they are sugarcoating things, or they are leaving things out. People, like, that's one of the things, you guys, is I thought I trusted some sources, Western media, and when I started going to the news, when this all started unfolding, to watch what was happening, to see like what they were saying, because I was just like, oh my God, it was bewildering to me. Like my brain was melting. I was like, what the hell? Like where is the news? Like where is the reporting on what's happening? Like what the hell is this? And I was like, okay, well, let me go to this channel, because I know like at least they're like, bipartisan. They're going to tell it how it is. No, let me go to this one. They'll tell it how it is. No. And it's so crazy to me. There's just so much, you guys. Like my brain, literally, even trying to talk about this, I'm just like gonna have a fucking meltdown. Which is why we have to find our balance, and you have to have that spiritual side too, so that you can bring yourself back to your center. But we have to be willing to acknowledge the fact that we do hold power. We do hold control, right? If you're willing to choose to learn, because there's so much information out there. There's so many different ways to learn about this stuff. And if you're not sure, something sounds crazy and you're like, that can't be, that's not real. Don't write it off. Go look that shit up. Because 9 times out of 10, like, I kid you not, you guys, there were so many things, because I was just like, that can't be sure. Like, this is fake news. And then you look it up and it's like, oh, well, that's crazy. That's really weird. So many different things. But we have power. We have so much power as an individual. I made a video about like the collective only being a possible thing from individual action. Something so small, something so little, like, because the fact of the matter is that all is based off of the love of money. Like that's why society is how it is, because people want to control, people want power, people want to dominate. But like we have all that we need to create a world where everyone is like living a happy, successful life with everything that they need. Like there's literally studies around that. Okay. Like we have enough resources. Think, especially in America, think about how much food we throw away on the regular. I literally just watched a video in New York City where the community is trying to feed the homeless, and they have all like this huge spread out. They have all these little dishes and food to go and to give to the homeless people. And New York City police are coming in and with their fucking trash bags and just start throwing that shit away. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Like, police are there to control and protect businesses, and they're not there for the people, okay? Which they're supposed to be, mind you. Like, this sounds crazy, believe this or not. When I first started out in my college career, community college, I was trying to figure out what the hell I wanted to do. And I was like, maybe, yeah, I'll be a state trooper. I don't even know why, like, that was something I even considered. I was a different person back then, you guys. And so I started taking a couple classes, and I remember reading in the book and how it's supposed to be, this community policing and like, building relationships, and you're not really there to like harass people, and you're not there. But it's just like, that is not what we see. Like, and yes, you see that here and there, little pockets, certain individuals, certain people, but by far the whole is not like that. The whole is out to protect property and capitalism. That's it. Okay. And it's just so crazy to me that we allow all this to happen and like throw our hands up in the air like we have no control over it. And it's just like, you do have some power. You do have control, because, and I understand like it can be difficult, and it's gonna like, it takes moving differently and doing things differently than you've done them in the past, and maybe more effort. But it's like, is that not worth it? Is that not worth it to save lives, to like create a different society where we're all can like be equal and people aren't having to die for freaking batteries and shit? Like, there's literally kids in Congo who are mining cobalt for what? So that everyone can have like fucking a new phone every year and a new laptop every other year, and these fancy ass electric cars and vehicles, they're dying. And like inadvertently, like, these wars are being funded by our country. Okay, look it up, look at the connections. It's like through these all little back channels, but they're funding the militias that actually prolong these things and make these things possible. And it's just so wild to me, you guys. And it's all, and the thing is, it's like people don't care often until it comes back and is affecting them personally. But from what I have been able to tell, and like, I've taken a step back, but it's just like, look into it. All the historians, like people who have studied the past, people who have studied Nazi Germany and fascism and how all this unfolds, it is like parallel to what's happening verbatim, what's happening right now here in America. Right now. And there's too many people stuck in the matrix that they cannot see that. They don't see it. They don't want to see it. They don't look for it because they're not personally affected. And the matrix makes you operate that way, makes you think that way, makes you like just, oh, I got to stay in my own box. Like, how can I worry about that when I got bills to pay and I got, dishes to do and I got kids to pick up? And it's just like, that's how they want you stuck in that mindset. They want you stuck so that you're not doing anything until it's too late. Like like fascism doesn't just like, and this isn't like, this has all been happening pre-Trump, mind you. Okay, this isn't just like, oh, Trump is in office now, there's like, no. Both administrations, the government itself, like, this has all been unfolding for years, and it's just escalating slowly and little by little. If you want to like take over and like dominate things in that sense, you're not just gonna like bull rush things like in a week or something. Like, that's not how it goes, because people will rise up, obviously. But anyone seen Handmaid's Tale? Anyone watched how that story slowly unfolds? It's little things. Like, I can't even tell you how many people, when we used to be canvassing, which I can't even canvass anymore, like, if I thought about going back to that job, because at this point it just feels like it's something that continues to uphold the matrix. Because it's like, the fact of the matter is, we shouldn't need the ACLU to come and keep fighting in court to get us our rights. The government should be giving us those things. The government's supposed to be for the people, but it's not for the people. We shouldn't have the ACLU. Like, you guys, I don't know if you guys like understand this, but like, the ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union, has been the nonprofit organization of lawyers who's basically gotten us all the rights that we have in this country as women, as people, as minorities, people of color, whatever word you want to use. Okay. Like, rights to vote, like like, they've had to fight we, the people, have had to fight tooth and nail. And we also fund the ACLU by donations, just for the goodness of our hearts. That's what my job was. But we shouldn't have to do that. Like, we shouldn't have to do that. It's upholding the matrix in itself. And at this point, like, I don't even think I can go out and do that job anymore. Yeah, I quit a while back, but I don't think I could return to that job, even though it was a really fun, engaging job, getting out and talk to people about what's going on. But like, it's just upholding the system. It's literally upholding the system. Like, fascism unfolds slowly. And that's what's happening. And that's what's been happening. Like, and people aren't going to care until too many people aren't going to care until it's too late. And I'm not saying all this to sow fear into anybody. I don't want to sow fear into anybody, because at the end of the day, I believe that we need to maintain faith and love, because I truly believe at the end of the day, that is not even believe. I know at the end of the day, faith and love will conquer. But we need to wake up if we want to quicker. We need to wake up quicker, because we're going to wake up no matter what. So you can do it now, or you can do it when shit gets real bad. But we need to wake up in order to do some damage control. Okay? Damage control. Let's not get too far. Okay? Let's stop this before it gets to the point it gets. Because things are going to unfold slowly as they do, because they want they want it to, they're tactful. And the other thing I think about is like psychology. Like, y'all, you don't think that they use psychological tactics on us? Like, go look into and learn a little bit about psychology and how the human brain works, because people like to think, like, I had no idea what I was getting into when I became a psych major, but it's just like the way the human brain works, like, and how the things that we're susceptible to that we wouldn't think that we're susceptible to, like, your brain is, and just all these little things. It's just like propaganda is everywhere in this country. Matrix propaganda is everywhere in this country, like everywhere, all over the place. It's gross. But they're using that. They use that on us on a daily basis to keep us trapped, to keep us complacent. And then they and gaslighting ourselves. I heard this phrase once and I was like, that's like a perfect description. They use it to gaslight, so that we gaslight ourselves into submission, to thinking that we have no power, no control, so that they can slowly keep rolling these things out. Just like in The Handmaid's Tale, you guys, it slowly happened over time. And if you look back into like history and like the things that happen, it's just like Nazi Germany. It's just like these things slowly unfolded, worse and worse and worse. And people didn't speak up. People didn't do anything because it didn't affect them. Oh, this happened, but it didn't affect them, so they said nothing. And then they kind of finally come for you. And if you don't think they're going to come for all of you, I don't care what color you are. They're coming for you too, okay? So we need to do something before... I mean, regardless, like I said, I would just personally love to do something before we get to the stage of damage control. That's all I'm saying. I would like to avoid damage control. But if we can't, we can't. But I'm just saying, you guys, start looking into some of this stuff, because there's a whole ass octopus. Like, the fact that a country could commit a genocide openly, live stream it for multiple years, and our country continues to take our freaking money and sending it over so they can continue bombing children, celebrities, people with all these platforms say silent. That's fucking weird. Okay, that's really weird. The fact that there are anti-BDS laws, boycott, divestment, and sanction laws in this country in like over 30 states, where essentially if you try to boycott or divest in any way from the only country the United States has this little agreement with is Israel. Okay. Everyone else, oh no. Yeah, go ahead, boycott them, do whatever you want. But when it comes to Israel, we got laws against that. They might come after you if you try to do that. Like, that's insane. What happened to freedom of speech? Like, what happened? Like, that's crazy. And everything that's happening right now, you guys. Like, I had a friend who lives over in, I think she lives in, not Michigan. Maybe she lives in Michigan. No, it might be Wyoming. I forget where she lives right now. But she's telling me how she's a medical student trying to basically keep her students safe right now because they are randomly revoking student visas. Mostly, might be all, students of color and those who have spoken out on the genocide. And usually, she said, the schools don't even know that this is happening. Students' visas just getting revoked, rounded up by ICE. Another one of her friends at a different school had this already happen to a few of their students or a few of her friends. Like, you had that man recently, I forget his name, so forgive me, but he filed a lawsuit. I think he was a PhD student, I forget which school, filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration for whatever. I don't even know. I cannot keep up right now. And then, you know what? It's just like, anyways, filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration for whatever crazy madness he's trying to pass. It's like goes against our constitutional rights. And what happens in retaliation? Oh, now they're revoking his visa and threatening deportation. So this man left on his own accord and went to Canada because he's like, And it's just like, we're literally, I don't know if you guys know this, we're on the, I think it's the Human Rights Watch list now at this point, via whatever world organization. And that happened like month ago or I don't even know at this point. We're on a couple lists now, the United States, for like countries that are like falling out of democracy. You know what I'm saying? So, and these are like little tiny things to you guys that I'm even saying right now. Like, they're like the amount of information and the things that have happened. Like, it's wild. Like, this is a whole octopus, and there's some weird ish going on right now, and that's getting a ringing in my ear. There's some weird ish going on right now, and that's why we need to wake up. Like, I don't know if you can call me conspiracy theorist. I don't care. But at this point, to me, what I think is, yeah, the Nazis, fascism, is about and has been trying and has had this who knows how long of a plan to slowly infiltrate different systems and to eventually come back and try to take power back. Look into the connection between the Nazis and the which church? I don't know. There's a documentary. Go look at just type into YouTube like Nazis church association. Some religion. Oh my God, why can I not think of the word right now? I don't know. Go look it up on YouTube. It's like a history lesson documentary or something. Like, look at the connections there. Okay. And for those who like don't know, look at Zionism, because Zionism, like, I had a coworker who thought, like, I was listening to some song that came on, and it was a Jewish man, I guess, and he was just like, oh, I'm surprised you'd be listening to this. And I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, why would I not, unless he's a Zionist? And he's like, oh. And I was like, there's a big difference between Zionism and Judaism. I'm so like, those are completely separate things. And I was like, I have seen tons of Jewish people standing up against Zionism and speaking out on Zionism. It is a very different thing. Zionism is essentially Nazism, okay? So go look into that. And I would say it's going to be difficult too, because it's all controlled. Like, Google's funding genocide right now. So if you're using Google, like, it's also like the way that it populates things is not going to be, especially probably even more so now with this administration. It was already with the other administration, but like even more so now. But go, and it sounds crazy, you guys, but if you want to look shit up yourself, go first to, and this is like, I'm sorry, I don't care if it's social media, go to Instagram or go to TikTok, type in Zionism, okay? Find something, read about it, then take that information and go look it up on the internet with that. Go look that up. There's a Zionist playbook. There's an actual playbook. That's not a joke. There's an actual playbook. Look that up. Macklemore talks about it in one of his songs. And go look at them and go listen to the songs Macklemore has put out recently. Heinz Hall 2, Fucked Up. And he should be coming out with another one soon, I believe. He might have one more too. But just listen to the lyrics. Because, yeah. Anyways, I just left Trader Joe's. That's why all this is coming out, because every time I go into Trader Joe's, I walk past the cheese section, and in this blue and white little container, it says Israeli feta, and I see red, and I just see myself having I black out for a minute and see myself having a Karen moment where I just want to grab all that shit and throw it on the floor and start screaming. And today I didn't see Israeli feta on the shelf, so I got really excited for a minute until I asked the clerk. I'm like, oh, did you guys take all the Israeli products off your shelves? She said no. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I just didn't see the feta over there, so I got excited for a minute. But there are so many different things that we could do, you guys. So many different things. Boycotting. Download the Boycat app if you haven't already. It's super quick, super easy. All you gotta do is scan the barcode on something, and it'll tell you whether or not we're boycotting it and why. And it'll let you know like what level on the boycott it is. And if it doesn't pop up, you can help. All you got to do, take 30 seconds, enter the information, the product information. It has all these little sections on it, product name, what selection of it's meat, dairy, whatever. Enter that information, send. Someone on the other end is going to look that shit up, and then they will get back and input that product into their system. Really easy. Start shopping at small businesses only if possible. Start looking at your farmers markets. Look at your local butcher. Look at people on Facebook Marketplace who sell local products that they make themselves. Candles, honey, secondhand clothes shopping. There's so many different ways we can divest away from this matrix system. And we like to act like it's hard, but it's really, it just takes a little bit more effort. And honestly, it's more fun. It brings you back into the world, you guys. It brings you back into the world. Like we've become so reliant on like this system, and it's just like it cuts off people from like even communicating to each other. I think COVID, I don't even know anything about COVID. I've heard a lot of conspiracies about that, but I ain't gonna get into that. But like just thinking about that in general, it's just like even that, like so many people like went into like a state of anxiety during COVID and like can't go back out in public as a result afterwards. But it's just like that's already something that's like in our society. Like you can get your groceries delivered, you can get your fucking dinner delivered, you can get like anything you want delivered. You try to go to a store because you want a specific item and it's like impossible to find it. You might have to go to like 5 stores. Facebook Marketplace, we don't even need to buy shit that's brand new, you guys. Craigslist, we don't need all this brand new stuff, and we don't even need half the shit we think we need. It's just crazy. It's all crazy. There's so many different ways to divert away from the system. You don't have to go out and like take a microphone and start organizing and like be a freaking world leader, you guys. I'm not saying that's like what you have to do. I'm just saying start acting in these small little ways, because it all adds up, and be like, oh, well, me doing that on my own. Don't go buy Starbucks coffee. Like it's not. And like the thing is too is they'll hide things, because when I first was like Starbucks, like I don't get it, and looking it up, and it's just like, is Starbucks supporting genocide? And Google's like basically said no, and then you have to ask a few more questions, and it's like, oh, okay, the top shareholders of Starbucks is BlackRock and shoot, I forget who else, both funding the genocide. So it's just like, okay, so yes, Starbucks is funding genocide, but they're going to make it seem like it's not. Like they hide all this information, you guys. Anyways, little things, that's all it takes. People remember, it's just like you have power as an individual. Without individual action, there is no collective action. If no one goes out to protest and takes the individual steps to do that, there is no protest. If nobody boycotts because they think it's not going to do anything, it won't do anything. But what if we all take the steps? Because it just drives me crazy when people are like, oh, I can't, like, that's not going to do anything. Me doing that, it's not going to change anything. It's just like, no, you doing it's not going to change anything, but you plus everyone else also doing it is going to change things. It is, because that's what forms a collective. Like, imagine if for one day nobody went to work except for like essential people. And I mean essential, not like the bullshit essential that COVID was. Like, oh, essential workers, so you're still fucking working at the grocery store. Like, nah, I'm talking about, and I'm just saying one day. Imagine if we did it for like 3 days. You got hospital workers, okay, they'll be there. You got, who else is essential? Honestly, if it doesn't have to do with someone dying and it's not essential. Firefighters, I guess. So yeah, imagine that. 1 day, 3 days, no one went to work, no one bought a damn thing, no one went to school. Like, the economy would come to a screeching halt, and we would be heard. But it's like people get afraid too, like, well, I need to work, and it's just like, babe, one day. And I understand, like, people think like, well, I need to pay rent, and yeah, that one day will make a difference. Like, I have to be at work that one day because I can't miss one day. And I understand for some people that situation might be true, but the fact of the matter is you will find a way around that one day. And that's part of, like, it's all connected, right? So it's just like, if you're not able to pay rent because you miss one day of work, that's a product of this system. That's a product of this matrix. That's a product of the society that has been created and allowed to upstand, whatever. And that's part of why you should stay home, like, to take down that system. Because that you having to call in sick one day shouldn't mean you can't make your rent. But that's the kind of system and world that we've allowed to exist. So it's all the more reason to stay home and tank the economy and send a message. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, keep the faith, okay? Keep the love. Like I said, I'm not trying to fearmonger anybody. Like, the only reason I'm able to maintain my positive attitude. Oh, dog's so cute. Sorry, I love dogs. The only reason I'm able to maintain my positive attitude like on a daily, and it's like, you know, some days I have off days, and that's fine. You got to honor and appreciate every emotion, every feeling that you have, because you are human, part human. You got to appreciate it. But without faith and without love and my unwavering, I don't know. It's just like, I know that at the end of the day, love will conquer. And I know that sounds cliche, and I don't care, because at the end of the day, it will. We might have to go through some shit to get there, but that's why I want damage control to happen. Or not damage control, that's why I want people to start waking up now. Spiritually, wake up from the matrix. I love you guys. But if we can't get there sooner rather than later, then, you know, it's fine, but we're gonna have to go through a lot more hardship, and I think most of us would rather avoid that if possible. Am I right? Just saying, I certainly would. But at the end of the day, it'll bring us all closer together. So I know whatever's meant to happen is gonna happen. So I love you guys so much. This is a different video, but it's also connected because it's all spiritual. I don't give a who says it's not. It is. Because politics is about people. Politics is about people and our lives and our day-to-day and every which way we function. Okay? It is, unfortunately. And you guys can call it politics. And I think that word has honestly been used to, like, gaslight us into, like, not talking about it or not thinking it has anything to do with us. There's just, like, so many psychological tactics they use on us that, like, we aren't even privy to, especially if you're, like, not very informed on how psychology works. Like, you think our government, like, listen to this, you guys. Okay, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. So we're at, like, what? Yeah, over 31 minutes. Our government actually did a study, America. I forget what year this was. And it's weird that this is, like, if this is known, this is the thing, it's like, this was a known thing, because they actually ran a study. I forget where they did the study at, but they're basically like, if you have people come together and meditate in unison for X amount of time, it will reduce the crime rate of that city. And I think it was like for that summer or whatever it was, right? And I remember reading how you had, like, the police chief was just like, oh yeah, you're gonna have to have, like, basically like hell freeze over, I don't know what he said, for that to happen, to reduce the crime rate by X amount. And lo and behold, is that the saying? I don't care. They conducted this study. They had, I don't know, I remember how many people came together and meditated for a certain period of time in this city, in DC. I think it was in DC. And what do you know? Crime rates dropped by, like, I think it was like 20 to 30% that summer. Okay. And it's just weird because the government's conducting these kind of studies, right, about energy and meditation. And they're seeing its power. And yet, like, we don't talk about these things. Like, the government, like, we don't even have in Western medicine, like, any sort of energy work, any sort of, like, it's just weird, you guys. It's extremely strange. I wish I can, like, take all the information that I have learned and seen in the past 2 years and just, like, transplant it into your guys' head. If no one's seen the movie, it's not a movie, it's like a little docuseries, The Octopus, American Conspiracy, The Octopus Murders. Go watch that. It's on Netflix. And The Family, also on Netflix, also a docuseries. Watch those two. And these are, like, connected, but, like, these are part of the octopus, which is why I've adopted the name The Octopus. They're all part of it. Like, it just shows you how corrupt and, like, and it's just like the tip of the iceberg. Okay, watch both of those. They'll freak you out. But we need to be freaked out to wake up, okay? All right, I'm gonna go. I love you guys so much. I hope you guys are having a great morning, day, afternoon, evening, whenever it is you're seeing this video. And remember that you have power, okay? Because you really do. We all do. There is no collective without the individual action. Just remember that. Okay? All right. I love you guys. Bye.